Opening riff. Van Halen doing cover of the Kinks. You Really Got Me. It's the very first song I ever sang in public. I sang it with my first band, Crossfire, which at that time was Tim Troutman on the drums, Jim Bolt playing bass, and Chad Austin on guitar. We played a talent show at High Brighton High School. I was already graduated at that point. I'd been out of school for about a year and had aspirations of being the next David Lee Roth. All those guys in that group were strongly influenced by Van Halen. Later, John Hawkins and Scott Everhart came into the group, and we played a ton of parties, practiced a lot, had a lot of good times together. It's where I cut my teeth. It's where all of us cut our teeth, really. And some of the most fun that I ever had in my life. Absolutely relished going to practice. It was kind of a rough time in my own life, and getting together with those guys and playing rock music, especially Van Halen rock music, absolutely meant the world to me. Going out and doing it live for the very first time was intimidating, terrifying, and some of the most fun that I ever had in my life too. You Really Got Me. Dadgum right you do. You do if you were Eddie Van Halen. We lost Eddie this week. It's been pretty rough. 2020 in general has been pretty rough. I got a ton of emails that I'm going to share. Condolences, if you will, that people have sent me because they know very much how much I love music. They know very much how much I love Van Halen. I would say the three most influential bands of my life, the music that defined me the most as a person, are probably Rush, Kiss, and Van Halen. Not necessarily in that order. Not necessarily in that order day to day either. Because music's one of those things that, you just feel it differently at different times. Different things mean different things to different people. And Van Halen, to me, was always about the celebration of living. Having entire seasons that feel like Van Halen. The first sweltering summer day is Diver Down. And when you fall in love with a girl, it feels like Secrets. That's the quintessential summer song to me. I'll get back to what I was talking about earlier. Crossfire was very important to me. It's how I started this musical journey. Started it with Chad, Jim, Tim, Scott, and John. All those guys still play, I think. Matter of fact, I know most of them do because I play them on this show from time to time with their various projects. Chad put out an album a few years ago called The Id and the Ego with his group The Logic, and he got the licensing rights to do this cover of a Rihanna song called Don't Stop the Music that's got actually a Chad Van Halen kind of twist on it. This is The Logic on Uncle Sam's Hi-Fi Homebrew.
Please don't stop the music. Oh, please don't stop the music. Oh, please don't stop the music. Oh, please don't stop the music. It's getting late. I'm making my way over to my favorite place. Got to get my bag move and shake the stress away. Wasn't looking for nobody when you looked my way. Possible candidate, yeah. Who knew that you'd be up in here looking like you do? You make it staying over here impossible. Baby, I must say your aura is incredible. You don't have to go, don't. Do you know what you started? I just came here to party. Now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, chest to chest, now we're face to face. I wanna take you away, escape into the music. DJ, let it play. But I just can't refuse it, like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, escape into the music. DJ, let it play. But I just can't refuse it, like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Oh baby, are you ready? 'Cause it's getting cold. Don't you feel the passion ready to explode? What goes on between us, no one has to know. This is a private show. Oh, do you know what you started? I just came here to party. Now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, chest to chest, now we're face to face. I wanna take you away, escape into the music. DJ, let it play. But I just can't refuse it, like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, escape into the music. DJ, let it play. But I just can't refuse it, like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music.
John Kirby and the New Seniors on Uncle Sam's Hi-Fi Homebrew. Brand new tune just came out this week. The name of it is Rattlesnake. Had many moments of commiseration this week with John Hawkins, who was the drummer in Crossfire that I was talking about earlier, and Chad Nance, who is the bass player with John in the New Seniors. We're all really big Van Halen fans. Those guys were talking about how they were playing like a cover of Bottoms Up that they're getting ready to record, and John's like, I remember playing this with you back when we were kids. Very touching and personal messages back and forth between all of us. I want to thank those guys for the emotional support, if you will, of sharing that stuff with me this week. And as always, sharing the music with me. Rattlesnake from John Kirby and the New Seniors can be found on bandcamp.com. Look at the links below in the video to go check that out. I have had a ton of emails, personal messages, whatever you want to call them, sent to me over the last few days. And this podcast that is a tribute to the life and legacy of Edward Van Halen is going to be a little different than usual. I'm not going to be playing as much music, but I have gotten permission to share some of these personal messages, and I want to thank everybody that's reached out this week. This one comes from my partner in crime in Napalm Junkie, guitarist Jason Simmons. Let's see. I've got two laptops sitting here, so you'll have to bear with me for my technical idiocy for a moment. It reads, Hey Sam, I have a recollection of how I became aware of how EVH became the icon and influencer he was. Around 85 to 86 was when I finally got into playing music. My best friend, Mark Sweet Daddy Burns, was always a big Eddie and Van Halen fan. At that time, I wasn't into him that much. I was a few years later when I said to Mark, I don't see what the big deal is with Eddie. He broke it down to me like this, and it was all clear. He said, think about when the first Van Halen came out in 1978. No one was playing like that, and no one had a sound like that. When I thought about that, I was like, wow, that is so true. Since then, I have been a huge fan. I'd like to add that Eddie's rhythm playing never got enough respect. As he progressed as a player, his rhythm playing got insanely good. I'm going to say that's very true. Thanks a lot for sharing that, Jason. Sure appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everybody that has been sharing stuff. I also got something from my friend Jonathan Stone, who I went to high school with. Jonathan wrote, I'll give you my favorite Van Halen moment. I religiously read and posted on the Van Halen links forums, so I had heard the rumors of a new Van Halen album in late 2011. When a different kind of truth dropped in early February 2012, it threw me into my second midlife crisis. I know the feeling, Jonathan. Anyway, I promptly dropped 30 pounds and treated myself to fourth row seats right in front of Eddie. The dude was literally just a few feet from me when he sat down and roasted through his solo. I'd sneaked some wild turkey in and got busted by a security guard, but instead of getting in trouble, he handed me a GoPro camera and asked me to shoot some video. What a great night. Rest in peace, Eddie. Damn right, Jonathan. Thanks for sharing that, dude. I also got a video email from my buddy Charles Shoemake of the Freds. This is a unique take on a original tune by Charles combined to a degree with some lyrics that we all may know and love. Here's Charles Shoemake. Charles, thanks for sending this down, man. It was a blast. Love you, dude. I'm going to be reading some more stuff here in a little bit.
Beneath the
That is Beyond Forever by Jonas Ridge. That was sent down to me from Jason Davis. Jonas Ridge was a project that he was in before the Freds, and what he said here in the message is that John Bird, the guitarist, was a huge Eddie Van Halen fan. The song is titled Beyond Forever. John Nielsen is the engineer. The actual title is just Beyond Forever. I can't really believe I found it. Searched for it for 2 days and finally found a DVD of all things marked Jason songs, and sure as blank, it was on there. Changed it to a WAV file and voila. And Jason, man, don't know how to say how much I appreciate you sending that down and sharing that music with me. It always feels good to know that there are other people out there that are such fans. One such person is my friend Tracy Mull Effler. She wrote this to me. I remember around the age of 10 or 11, my older brother was working his first job and bought his first Pioneer stereo at Kroll's department store. The speakers towered past the windows of the room. It was the first time I had ever heard the Van Halen debut album. When he would put that album on, every window in the house would vibrate and shake, not to mention the neighbors all complained. My brother took me to my first Van Halen concert, and I went to 2 more after that over the years. My utmost favorite album is and always will be Diver Down. Kind of right there with you, sister. I will never forget hearing Cathedral playing, and it just amazed me what Eddie could do with a guitar. To this day, when I hear the opening of that album, it still gives me cold chills. Even though I never played the guitar, I still love and have always envied anyone that does play. Tracy, thanks so much for sharing that. I've had so many people share some things with me. Andy Trivett shared a cover with me of him doing Dance the Night Away. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to pull into my program, so I'm going to drop a link for that in the podcast so you can go check out his cover of Dance the Night Away. He did a great job on it. All right now, let's see who we're going to go to next. Okay, actually, let's go to one of the best guitar players I know, a very good friend of mine. Got a lot of damn good friends, apparently. A lot of damn good talented ones, too. This is Scott Cornette with the Scott Cornette Trio. This is Triplicity on Uncle Sam's Hi-Fi Homebrew. from Backwards Compatible. That's Chris Church. These days on Uncle Sam's Hi-Fi Homebrew, Chris is not only a good friend of mine, he's an incredible music mentor and someone with whom I commiserate about the power and glory of music quite often. My wife will tell you the scariest thing in the world to see me and Chris standing outside listening to Blue Oyster Cult and talking about that, which is probably true. Chris, I sure appreciate sending that tune over for me to use, as you have done with so much in the history of the podcast thus far, and your support of it has made it a much better thing than it would be. Back to the emails. Got this from my friend Terry McGregg. Came in this morning, actually. Goes, "Morning, brother. I hope this finds you and yours warm and dry on this wet-ass Sunday. I just wanted to share something with you. I was sitting here listening to some good old Merle Haggard and thought of you. And I know you're not a country music fan. It was your post on Van Halen's passing that made me think about you while listening to Haggard. You spoke of how much Van Halen had influenced you and who you are. You spoke about how much his passing affected you. A lot of people would laugh at us for developing such feeling for someone that we don't actually know, but they don't know the inside story. Like you, Haggard affected me in ways I can't explain, nor do I want to. He had a direct effect on who I am. Their music is a large part of who we are. I said all that to say this. I feel your pain and loss, and I understand what it is to lose someone who had that great impact on our lives. I never dreamed I would be affected as much as I was when Haggard passed away. I felt like a part of me died with it, if that makes any sense. Anyway, brother, just wanted to say that I'm sorry for the loss I know you felt with Van Halen's passing. Hope you have a good day, my friend." Well, I'm having a better one now, man. Thanks for sending that down. The person that I have probably commiserated with the most in the passing of Eddie Van Halen has been my good friend Ken Yeager. We understand Van Halen on a very similar type of philosophical and emotional perspective. Ken and I actually share that also with Stan Lee of Marvel Comics, who passed away earlier this year. Ken and I both know that Van Halen was about more than music. Van Halen was about living in the celebration of life. Ken's also one of the best guitar players that I've ever known in my life or had the pleasure of playing with over the years. Here's Ken with King Size Canaries, a group he was a part of back in the early 90s with John, Nate, and Sid. This is here on Uncle Sam's Hi-Fi Homebrew. King size Canaries here on Uncle Sam's Hi-Fi Homebrew. God, this has been a very unusual thing to do as a podcast for me. I don't usually get emotional on these things, but a couple of these letters really got to me. This one came down from my buddy Teddy. He's like, during my drive home today, Rainbow in the Dark by Dio came on the radio. For a few short moments, I was taken back to the memories of the 80s. I dedicate it to all my metalhead friends of then and now. An extra dedication goes to all the Edmistons, Austins, Bolts, Watsons, Parsons, Greens, and anyone else who had the balls back then and now to grind on their axe, beat on their drums, or belt out their vocals. Teddy, you're one of the toughest dudes I know, man. Sure appreciate you sending that down as a memory from something that you posted on social media years ago. I just got a text from my sister. Let's see, what does this say as I'm doing this? The lovely and talented Sherry Edmiston, who is a music teacher and did a really cool thing for teaching for You Really Got Me earlier this week. So, yeah, Sherry, hats off to you too, girl. I know how much Van Halen meant to you. So much so that you put a David Lee Roth poster in my bathroom with him pulling his pants down, which made everybody think, good God, Sam's a pervert. But that may be true, but I wasn't attracted to Dave Roth. Whatever. All right. Have you watched the monologue by Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live yet from last night? No, Sherry, I have not, but as soon as I finish this podcast, which will be in the next few minutes, I will. Next few minutes is absolutely true. I'm going to share my first memory of Van Halen, and then I'm going to take you out with a song by the Togaz. First time I heard Van Halen, that I knew who Van Halen was in the back of a Ford Mach 2 Mustang. Dude I went to high school with named Jeff Pless gave me and my buddy Dave Stelgis ride home in the afternoons because both of us hated riding the damn school bus, and Jeff was cool enough to get us out of that. This would have been in October, probably, of 1980, so 40 years ago this month, I heard Everybody Wants Some for the very first time. I'm sitting in the back of that car, and those drums are pounding out, and then that little Tarzan-like yell that Dave Roth does comes out, and I could do a Tarzan yell, so I thought, yeah, hey man, I could be the singer in a rock and roll band, and I can get rid of these corduroy pants and these hush puppy shoes and this Izod t-shirt, and maybe I'll get a girl. And you know what? I did. Thanks a lot, Dave Stelgis and Jeff Pless, for that. Shout out to my buddy Marty Miller, who also was a huge Van Halen fan, and we'd ride around listening to Van Halen all the time in his car. David and Marty were my two of my closest friends, along with David May in high school, and all of us truly loved Van Halen. Van Halen as an influence on me as a musician has had a very profound effect too. The very first song I ever wrote on electric guitar was something called Kissin' the Bedroom Walls. That's like one of the worst rip-offs of Panama ever, but you know, it kind of stuck. I liked the riff so much that I repurposed it over and over and over again. But I finally got it right in the late 80s. I was playing in this group with Ken Yeager and Charlie Smith, and my lifelong musical partner John Parsons came into the fold and was working on stuff with us. I was a bass player primarily at that time and doing the vocals in the group, and when I wrote 442, well, it turned out that I could not actually play bass and sing that one at the same time because of the kind of odd syncopation of it. And John picked up the bass on it on that tune, and it's a song that was written about our friend David Thompson's 442. The song itself is a combination, I guess, in a way, of Rush's Red Barchetta and once again Panama. My two most personal influences coming to confluence in one tune. Well, a few years ago, we recorded it again with Brian Beaver on the drums, Chris Berry on bass, who helped me produce this one at the end of the run with the Togaz, or at least at the end of the run thus far. Hopefully that's going to happen again one day. Edward Van Halen, thank you for a lifetime of great music. We'll see you on the other side. I hope we'll hear you for the rest of our lives. You folks take care. See you next week.